What's up, guys? Jason Guyman here with King of Pressure Wash, and tonight we're going to answer your questions. I've got some questions if you don't have questions, but I'd rather answer your questions because your questions are always better than my questions that I could come up with. And so that is, and the reason why I do this is because I've had people tell me that they really like when I do this. And so that is why I love answering your all's questions, because you all are what helps me make what content that I need to make, right? And so as you sit here and do this way I can help you grow and help you do the things you need to do. And so with that, obviously kingofpressure.com is what brings me and how I'm able to do this. And then also, if you want to know when I go live, you can text the word King, K-I-N-G, to 859-696-1101. But if you're just going to hit stop on it, don't even start to do it. I do text it twice a day, that would be a lot. Twice a week, every Wednesday and every Wednesday and every Sunday when I go live. So that is how you can text and get that. So with that, I got me some new gear in today. Some of you might know what this is here, acquisition.com. It is the new Alex Hormozi's $100 million leads book came in. I also got his hat. I don't really like wearing hats, but this is the book of the week that I would tell you to read. It is a good book. I would honestly look at doing, if you obviously do the Audible, I like doing the Audible too, but this is a book that I would probably also want to follow along with the book, because it has lots of pictures in it, and if you're like me, you like to see pictures, and that way it can kind of break things down a little bit more for doing this. So this is the book for the week that I'm going to give to you. This isn't the book I'm actually reading right now. I'm actually reading another book that I'm doing in mentorship, which is another great book too. This book here is called Good to Great by Jim Collins. It was a book that was written several years ago. It was written in 2000. It's older than some of you guys on here. And so it is one that it talks about what makes successful or companies that are good and great. And it isn't just people, but it's the right people. And that's where I'm at in chapter 3. And it's actually been pretty interesting with that. Hormozi rules, I agree, it's pretty cool. And I like to listen to him, and I like to take his information and apply it to my business. And a lot of times the stuff that I'm teaching, I've learned from people like that. So that's the book of the week, or the books of the week. But from there, we'll get started here. We got, again, if you have questions, ask the questions down there in there, and I will get to them. I've pulled 25, 30 questions that if I don't get questions, then I will be just pulling my own questions. So if you got any questions about pressure, your business, your marketing, I don't care what it is. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We got Alvin in the house. How are you doing? We got Aces High. Howdy y'all from Dallas, Texas. $1 Million landscaper, Mr. Scott. How are you doing? What's up, Wild Wild West? He's from Fort Worth, Dallas also. We got Mr. Richard, what's up in Syracuse, New York. We got Mr. Hallelujah. We got Michael, how are you doing? We got Aces said Hormozi rules. We got Mr. Joseph in the house, what's up? How are you doing? We got a question here, and we'll answer your questions. So I love answering your questions. Hey, Jason, are black streaks on roof bad for roof? Is it good to send or show articles that show that mold, etc.? Yes, they are bad for the roof. They will shorten the life of the shingles. They can cause the roof to overheat because now it's blacker than it's designed. You can go on to ARMA, A-R-A-M-A. It's the Association of Roofing Association, whatever it is, and it will have a lot of articles on there for you. And it tells you how to clean it. It gives you the reason why we need to clean it. And so that is a good resource that you can give the people whatever of saying, well, bleach is bad for my roof. Well, ARMA, the Association for Roofing, is actually the one that tells us to do that. So that's why we use that. So that's how that works. Oh, I'm going to get back to my book here. Wait a minute. If I can find it here. I got something here I'm going to give away. That ain't what I want to give away. That ain't what I want to do either. I don't know what I want. Right here, dates. So, I've got 3 of the hardcover back books. And so, if you come to the in-person training, one lucky winner will win one of these books this weekend, and I will give one away in October. So, if you want to win the hardcover book, it's $30 is what it ended up costing me. So you will have $30 book. So you will want to win it. If you do come to the in-person training, I will be giving one of them away to somebody. I don't know who, but I will give it away to somebody. Joseph is in the house. Have Alex books already arrived today? I think everybody did. 53 high. I've been doing big guy. What's up, Mr. Joey? I listen to him quite a bit. Love his 100 things for 100 days. And you know what? It really does make a difference of setting that and doing that. For just think, if you did something 100 things for 100 days, how much that will impact your business. If you did one thing 100 times or 100 minutes or $100 or whatever for 100 days, I guarantee you it will blow up your business. And that's why I definitely can I please have the Hormozy books? Well, you come to the training, you might win it. Otherwise you won't get it. What's up, Jason? Mr. Sean's in the house. Mr. Virginia. Hey everyone. Again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them so we can get them here. Let's talk about outlet issues. I posted on the group the other day about the gum on concrete and stained concrete. Well, hot water damage to stained concrete is over 10 years old. So that's 2 questions. So let's answer the second question first, and then we'll get back to the first question. Actually, let's hit the first question first, because Mr. Manny from Canadian here, one of our Canadian friends. So outlet issues. Whenever we're dealing with water, it doesn't matter if we tape them or if we don't tape them. If there are outlets that don't have covers on, we want to be very careful around them. So I know the argument is tape versus untape, and my thought is this here is, will they catch on fire if you don't tape them? Yes. Can they catch on fire if you tape them? Yes. So my thought of it is, it's kind of like the Christmas lights, right? The reason why I don't tape the ends of my Christmas lights is because these are not designed to be waterproof, watertight, right? There's holes in it, and it's the same way with outlets. Outlets are not designed to be watertight, right? Water can get up behind the siding, get down the siding, it can get into the outlet that way. They are not watertight outlets. That's why they make them GFI, so they trip. They don't always trip, but some of them do trip. And so with outlets, we do have to be careful. Again, we don't want to spray a bunch of water into them or around them. And so it is something that, again, I never taped. I had one catch on fire on me, and it did scare the crap out of me, but I had 2 of them do it to me, one to me and one to my employee. Out of the 45 years that we were in business and all the house washes we did. I know people that have taped, and they have caught them, and I've seen them catch on fire and burn the siding all up and all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things that There really isn't a right answer. I mean, if you really want the right answer, and I do know people that will ask this and put this in there, is to have the breaker turned off on all outside outlets. That is one way to take care of and make sure that you don't catch problems or have issues. Now, the chances of that happening, good luck on that. But obviously, if you push it enough, you could probably make that happen. So the answer to that question is the best way to keep anything from happening on an outlet is to have them turn it off before you even start. And that would be your best answer. On the next thing, on gum on concrete and the stained concrete, it's probably going to leave a mark, that gum is. You will need hot water. Hot water should not damage the stain, but I'm not going to guarantee it. It depends on how old the stain is. The concrete is old enough, but how old is the stain? And what kind of stain did they use? How deep did it get down into it? So that would be one of the things that you would want to do as a test and see what's it going to do. You're going to have to use hot water to get the gum up. The gum will not come up without using hot water. You will definitely have to use hot water for your gum. What's up, Mr. Coastal Creek Woodworks? Again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Think big, grow big. How's it going, everyone? It's going great. Awesome. Did one today. It will not bother it. Gotcha. We'll be in Raleigh on Sunday. Are you going to be there on Sunday then? That's cool. What is the best way the fastest way to remove paint from concrete? What is the best way and the fastest way to remove paint from concrete? Yeah, turbo nozzle. Turbo tip helps on paint or gum with hot water. Yeah, turbo tip. If it's really, I mean, you could probably use a stripper, but honestly, usually it's high pressure is what's going to get it off. And it's going to be probably the fastest. And some of it depends on how long it's been there. You know, if it's been there forever, it's going to even be worse. Did my first and last on well water. It had great pressure, but wow, it stinks like rotten eggs. Yeah, it can get pretty funky. And then the problem with doing well water too is then it can leave orange stains on the building too if it's really hard. So that's what can happen. How's Mr. Matthew doing? Was good, Jason. How's Mr. Tristan doing? Tristan is definitely a young entrepreneur. If you haven't watched him on his TikToks, go check him out. He has a TikTok that he posts a lot. I don't know if he posts a lot on YouTube or not, but go check out Mr. Tristan. He's always giving tips and tricks and all kinds of stuff that he's giving away. Most of them are my tips and tricks, and he just tells them in his own story. But that is all right because he is helping other people grow their business. Hitting it hard in September. Lights already getting scheduled. I know a lot of people are getting lights scheduled. One thing that I would tell you to do is start reaching out from last year's customers if you haven't already, and getting them pre-booked and ready to go. Artie's pressure washing. How much should I charge for a metal roof? I have to go up and do with pressure. Usually pressure isn't going to help it. If it's oxidation, that's a whole nother ball game. The big key with this is make sure that if you're going to do it, usually you can do it with like a 2 to 3% mix, but you want to cool it down before you spray it on there, or you're going to cause oxidation. If you're doing oxidation removal, I promise you there's not a product on there on the market that you can spray on and it just magically erases. I know there's videos out there that say that, but I promise you it doesn't work that way. And if it does, you better go get your lottery ticket. Best Christmas light design system for quotes. I'm really liking this home holiday concept. It's kind of, I'm gonna look at it tomorrow. I'm actually doing a demo with her tomorrow. So if we do Monday night marketing, or nope, I probably won't be on. So this Sunday night, I don't know if I'll be on live or not. I know I definitely won't be doing the 7 o'clock one, because I've got training and I'm flying from Raleigh, North Carolina to Houston, Texas. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want to come see Jason, we are doing a Christmas light class. It ain't really a class, it's kind of a one-day Christmas light deal at the Texas pressure washing store. So if you want to go see me, that's where I will be at. I will be getting in late Sunday night, and I'll be there all day Monday, and I'm leaving out Tuesday morning. So if you're in the Houston area and you want to come see me, come see me. But I probably won't be doing Monday night marketing. So that's about all I got on that. Where do you get a turbo nozzle? You get them at any pressure washing store. You can get them. Make sure it's for the right size for your tip. That will eat through your toes, so make sure you're wearing shoes and all of those good things. We got Trisha in the house. She had the old Ovid and was not feeling good for a couple days, but she's doing better now. What's the YouTube you're live on? I am just now showing you're live. So if you go to King of Pressure Wash on YouTube, that is this one. If you were on my live earlier, that's on my Christmas light channel. So I actually have two different channels. If you look up King of Pressure Wash, that's my YouTube channel. Or if you look up Christmas Lights Help, you'll find me on YouTube. Thanks. I have a 5.5 gallon minute per thing. Yep. I would love to get into Christmas lights. When is your next class and where? You can go check it out at kpwtrain.com. It's this weekend. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's Saturday and Sunday is the Christmas light portion of it. And then I will have one in October also. October is my second one. If you go to, I don't think I have one up here. If you go to christmaslights.io, that it will be my online training. The online training also comes with a website. There's two different templates that I'm using. My old template, and I do have a new template for the Christmas light website. You do need to be a member, or otherwise you don't get the website. Metal roof, be careful if Galvalume metal saw turned it black. Yeah, Galvalume is like a gray color. It almost looks like it's painted gray, but it's not. And if you get even if you house wash it, it can turn it black really quick, and it's not good. What percentages deposit do you suggest for Christmas lights? I would do. This is supposed to be about pressure washing, guys. No, if you guys got Christmas light questions, whatever your questions are, don't hesitate to ask any questions. The more questions you ask, the better off you are. And so what percentage deposit? I like doing 50%. I know some people that do 33%. I know some people that do a flat rate of $500 or $300. The nice thing, if you do 50%, that's enough to cover all your materials. So you can go buy your materials, you can go put it up, and you don't have to have a whole lot of money out of pocket. I'm drinking a beer. What are you drinking? I am drinking water with some flavoring stuff in it, because I don't like just regular water, and I'm trying to lose more weight. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and videos. You have helped me greatly. What's your questions? My proportioner went out today and was not drawing water. I hit a whole roof with straight 12.5. Will it hurt it? It shouldn't hurt it, but make sure you do a lot of watering, because that's a lot of salt that you're going to be putting down there, and that's not good for the plant life. And that's the thing about proportioner is all it takes is one little crack or one little leak, and it will not draw to save your life. So that's what can happen for that. So it is one of those things that as you start, as the proportioners get older, they start cracking, they start leaking, they start sucking air, and all it takes is one little air leak, and then you got big problems. Any classes in Pennsylvania or New Jersey? Not at this time. Not at this time. Thanks, Alvin. All right. What other questions you got? Otherwise, I gotta go to my question list over here. Um, what questions do you have? All right. What type nozzles are available and how do you affect the pressure washing cycle? So we talked about the turbo nozzle up there. Also, you can do the J. I like that. I'll hit on that one. The J rod, right? The J rod. The M5 twist is another thing. The M5 twist you can put in there so you can change your span and your spray. So that's another way of doing this. So this is a good question here that I'm going to hit on because there's a lot of people. You're not the only one. I'm getting burnt out. I keep hiring guys and they don't work and they're not working out year after year. I make good money, but I can't even keep jobs consistently coming in this year. I'm not a quitter, but I'm getting weary. So you're not the only one. I've heard it from other people. Some people have been busy and some people have not been so busy. The lead flow has, for a lot of people, have dried up. And so this is definitely something that, I think that as the economy does whatever it's going to do and people are starting to hold back, but it's back to there is no $300 house washes, right? You're not getting the $300 house washes. You got to go find the high-end clients because the high-end clients still got money. And so it's one of those things that I would be lying to you that if you go after the $200-$300 people, the $200 and $300 house wash people that want to go cheap and don't know how to raise their prices and charge, and because of that, you will start to struggle here because those house washes are going away for a lot of people. And I'm not just saying that from a little bit of knowledge that I have. I have a lot of knowledge of what it is. When I see David Hamill in here saying he's personally going out, putting out 5,000 door hangers, that tells me that he's also slow. A dude that does over $1 million a year. So that tells me that he's also slowing down too. So it's one of those things that as we look at this, we either have to try to figure out how to get more leads with people not wanting it done. Here's the thing about pressure washing. Pressure washing isn't a necessity, right? It's a want. One thing I would say is gutter cleaning is a necessity. You've got to get your gutters cleaned out, otherwise they're going to overflow and then they're going to damage other things. So that is a necessity. Now, Christmas lights is a want too, but people are still buying Christmas lights, which that's a good thing. People are willing to go in debt for Christmas lights because it's the magic of the season and all of the other stuff. This is why we don't sell bulbs and we sell the magic, right? Because people are willing to spend it on the magic. People won't be willing to spend it on the bulbs. If you're trying to sell bulbs, you're going to struggle over and over and over. And so as we get into this, and that's one thing that every year that's one reason why I like doing Christmas lights, because every year I would get burnt out about this time. You just get burnt out of doing pressure washing. A lot of you start slowing down, your customers aren't showing, it's just your lead flow ain't there. And that was the beautiful thing about Christmas lights is that it would start picking up. And right now is, there's people starting to getting ready to. We started in October 1st of installs. So, we're 3 weeks away and we were full board installing in October. And so that's the good thing about it. And actually we would install the last week of September because we had a couple breast cancer ones that we would go do. So we would start installing in less than 3 weeks. But to get back to your point here, it is definitely something that, I even talk about, Donovan kind of talks about this a lot of, are you able to scale up your business? You might have to, and are you able to scale it back down, right? Are you able to scale it back down and still make money, still make profit? And you might have to scale it back down to be able to keep it moving and keep it going in doing that. So it is definitely something that you have to look at. It's not that you're a quitter. You know, sometimes you get tired, right? Sometimes you just get tired, but you got to keep going. So that's kind of where you're at. Back to hiring the guys, you know, as I've been reading this book here, it talks about not just hiring people, but the right people. You got to get, it's not just putting people on the bus, it's putting the right people on the right bus in the right seats. And it is important that we do this so that way we can grow and get the right people in there and be the right people to keep our business growing. If I open my valves all the way, I draw more from the chem tank than the water tank. And so this could be that the hoses are longer. If you're pulling out of the bottom of one and not out of the, and the top out of another one, there's all kinds of reasons why that can happen. What do you think about using wet sandblasting tip? What's a tip on your pressure washer and a bag of sand? Will that work? There is a way that you can do that. They sell a tip that goes on there that you can literally sandblast like chairs and stuff to get the stuff off that way. What's up, Facebook user? I have a 12-volt soft wash from Arkansas Soft Wash. Pretty sure he's out of business. Yes, he is. It has a 5.5 gallon pump with a 1/2 inch port. Plumbing is 1/2 inch and 200 feet of hose. I can get 5 feet. Either the pump's bad or you got a bad suction somewhere. If you got bad suction in there anywhere, that's what will happen. Also, if the hose coming in is only 1/2 inch, that can cause it too. Sometimes you want to bump that up to 3/4 and then drop it down right before it goes into the pump of a 1/2 inch, so that way you're really feeding that pump of everything that you can get it. What time is the training in Houston? I believe I don't even know. I'm just supposed to show up. I believe it's around 9. Met a new guy just started. He likes shiny objects. He was doing a tiny ranch with a gas roof pump and driving around with 2 full totes of water. I sent him your way. You know, there's a lot of people like shiny objects. Jason was sending me a guy that likes shiny objects. He got him a big old drone, right? Big drone and $40,000 drone, and charging less to do house roof cleaning than what Jason does. And it's like, if you're doing it with a drone, you should be charging more because you have more things to sell and more value to add to it. So that's, you know, don't get into shiny syndrome, man. It doesn't do you no good. You know, there is people out there that will sell you roof pumps that are pushing them, and you know, that's why I teach people to get in with a small pressure washer and a freaking 12 volt, right? Because a 12 volt, you are in $400 or $500, and you can do roof cleaning. You can do a roof clean with a pump up sprayer, and you can do a house washes with the downstream injector, and that's why I teach you to go that route. Everyone is selling equipment at this time of year. I just got my first 8 gallon a minute, belt driven, 14 hours. I pay $3,000. Do you think that's a good price? I mean, you can get a brand new one for a little bit more than that. If you look around, you'll be able to get even cheaper because people buy stuff and then they sell it pretty quickly, and then you can ask for a lot less. Any idea why my chem draws downstream and stopped working after 2 weeks? One house a day, and I switched to a new one, and it went bad. Started working again. It went bad. Make sure you're cleaning them out. If you're not cleaning that thing out, that bleach will eat that spring up in no time. So that's one reason why I like using the 3-way ball valve, so that way you can go to water. Or if you got if you're using a 5-gallon bucket, use 2 5-gallon buckets, and you go from soap to water, so that way every time that water is rinsing that thing out. Because if you just leave that bleach in there, it will eat that spring. All it is a little metal spring in there, and that 12.5% will eat through that spring in no time. My minimum pressure wash is $450. My average ticket is $767. What do you all do about water reclaim? We're new and don't want to get in any trouble, but I can't find out any information. So, only time you really got to worry about reclaim is if you're doing a lot of commercial work, and gas stations can also cause you to need to do reclaim. If you're doing residential, you don't have to worry about reclaim. You can look up the EPA Water Act. The Water Clean Water Act is what it falls under. And yes, there's a lot that says different than what I just said, but they're not out there getting you right now. If you're in California, that might be a different story, but most of the other places you don't have to worry about it. There will be some jobs that you will, like Walmart makes you do it in certain places, but you got to at least try to divert the water, pour it into whatever. What is a good food degreaser you would recommend for restaurant, garage enclosures? I would look for probably something with a with lye or what's it called, soda beads. It's the same thing. Then that's going to be your strength if you make it, but most of them are all going to be sodium hydroxide is going to be it. You don't want it to get on the metal. If it has like windows, you can screw up windows with it, so that's why you got to be careful with it. If you don't mind doing decks, I can stay busy on them until mid-November, and it's high ticket. That is true, and especially if you're staining them, because there ain't a lot of people to stain them and do them, and you can make good money off of decks. I would agree with that. I've started knocking on businesses' doors and selling window cleaning to stay busy. Window cleaning is a low-budget, high-margin business that we can add to our services and easy to train. And it is a way to keep you busy, right? It's a good downsell, and it can definitely keep your guys busy. And we can upsell from there, right? We can clean their sidewalks, and we can do all kinds of stuff other than that. It's not a problem, just a really good valve. Thanks for the insight. That helps. My average ticket is $781, but we've done with the day by 2 o'clock. We do more marketing after 2, but some days we finish at 11. We're going to push through. Another good book is Who Not How. I would agree 100%. It is a great book. It's one of my must-read books. It's in most of my training materials because it is very important. Would you recommend a gutter cleaning only EDDM? You could. Been a minute since I could make the chat. I had my first $1,000 day. That's awesome. That's high five. That's pretty awesome. Business is slow, and it's okay. I'm establishing my brand, the name to be prepared for next year. I was a shiny object guy. Built a $15,000 trailer, and we mostly do deck staining and house washing. I don't need what I got. Yep, that is true. Google Business Profile just made a change. You can add your social media on it where you edit your profile. Could you give your maps ranking a boost? Too early to tell. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'd have to look at that. I haven't, that's something new. So you're saying you can add your social media on it where you edit your profile. I'll have to look at that. What kind of marketing are we going over in the training for pressure washing? All kinds of it. Everything. Not just a little bit, but everything. What is the most common dirt and grime in North Central region? No. So you don't got a lot of mold, but so you're doing a lot of driveway. If you got concrete driveway cleaning, stuff like that. Have you tested when posting Facebook? Are you getting better results by posting in the morning, midday, or after 5? If that's what you're doing all of them, all the above. You're not just posting once a day. You're posting 3. If you're going to try to use Facebook, you need to post 3, 4, 5 times a day. And some days are going to be better than others, but that's how you're going to do it. Thank you for the super chat. Do you have any experience with Facebook marketing? And if so, useful gaining commercial contracts or mainly just residential gigs? Facebook is mostly going to be for residential. I'm not going to say you can't get commercial, but it's mostly going to be for residential. And if depends on, are we talking Facebook groups? Are you talking regular Facebook? Are you talking Facebook ads? Facebook ads, I haven't had a lot of success, and I don't know people that have had a lot of success for pressure washing. Obviously, they've had a lot of success for Christmas lights, but for pressure washing, I have not seen a lot of success for Facebook ads. Facebook groups, you can definitely, if you work the groups, you can make a lot of money out of working the groups. I've got a guy that he's about at 150 right now doing it part-time, and it's all been Facebook groups. What's the best ladder? I like the 28 foot, but some places you may need the 32 foot. So it depends on your area. What's the most? If you're in Florida, probably a 28 foot is going to be all right. And you can go from there. And that is for Christmas lights for that 28 foot. So I like the 28 aluminum, just because it's light and it's easy to maneuver, and you can do it really easy. When does gutter cleaning season ramp up in the Cincinnati? I'm in Louisville. When the leaves start falling. So I know that's not the answer you wanted. But that could be the beginning of October to the middle of November. It depends on what the season wants to do. If it stays warm and it doesn't get our first frost till November, well, November will be your first time getting out there. So it really depends on when we get that good hard frost and then a rain after it. That's the two things that will bring those leaves down. So I know that's not the answer. You probably wanted me to give you a date, but there is really no date of a certain time of when those leaves come. Facebook ads in Indianapolis is so bad and extremely per click. Jason, I have a house washing job coming up next week. The customer has Japanese maples, some other exotic plants, black gutters with a new black shingle roof. What should I go with instead of SH? Green ox instead of SH. The Japanese maple, make sure you water like a ton. You might want to go with green ox, but make sure if you didn't charge for green ox, then that's going to be a different story, because green ox is definitely a lot more expensive to do. So that's something that you may want to look at and see what you need to do for that. Are shingle tabs a must-have for lights? No, they are not. You don't need shingle tabs. You can use the regular all-in-one. Would you run the risk of being shut down by a dent the social media? I don't understand. Just want to say you're great. I wouldn't say that. I just want to help people grow their business. I want to help people get to $100,000 is my goal. My goal is to help people grow their business in any way that I can. And I know that if I help enough people, I will be helped myself. And so that's why I do what I do. And I love helping people. The other day, someone called. They had a question. I jumped on a Zoom call, and he about fell over because I jumped on a Zoom call with him. But I want to help people. When business is slow, Uber Eats, every stop, 10 around. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I love this. You know what? If you're slow and you ain't got work, this is a great thing to do. You can do Uber Eats and do 10 arounds, right? You don't sit there and roll over on your back and be like, well, pressure washing ain't for me. What are you doing to be able, that way you're getting paid to go do a 10 and 20 round while you're at those neighborhoods, right? And that's what you can do. And guess what? You might be able to put it in with the Uber Eat food, because that's what you can do. So just think about what you need to do to make that happen. I'm at pricing at 150 on average to clean gutters in one story. What prices are you averaging in the Queen City? I would raise your prices. Don't be afraid to be at 200, 250, even for a one story. It's going to cost you a lot to drive around, and I know you ain't got a lot in cost, but it's definitely what you have to do. Fix that attitude. You're great just for helping. How do you find the industry standard pricing for soft washing when no one in your region does it? Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. That's your first mistake. I don't care what other people are charging. What do you need to be profitable? The reason why I tell people to be 25 to 35 cents for pressure washing is because that's going to be where you need to be at to be successful. And the more that the stuff goes up, you're probably going to need to be about 30 to 35 cents to 40 cents a square foot. And I know some of you guys are like, there ain't no way I can get that in my area. And there's a reason why people are going out of business every day, because that's what they believe, that you can't get it in their area. And so as we do this is what you have to do to be able to stay in business and keep growing our business. And it's not always easy, but it's what you got to do. What's a 10 around? So a 10 around is, I go to the neighbor's house and I put a flyer. I go to the next neighbor's house, I put a flyer. I go across the street, I do 6 houses down. I come back across and I do the other side of the neighbor's 2 houses, and that's my 10 around. I'm still putting out 60 to 70 in a week at a full-time job. I washed the world's largest fence today, almost 8,000 square feet. That sucked. That's what that said. Thank God for Advil. I'd say so. That sucked. Cleaning fences suck. I'm surprised you got it all done in one day, because that's a lot of fence for 8,000 square feet. But yes, fences suck. And yes, you are right about the Advil. You will probably need lots of Advil, because you're just looking there up and down and up and down, and that is no fun. By adding not a dent. But yeah, so with that, with talking about fences, fences are definitely something that it does, if you haven't done them, or if you don't know how to bid them, make sure you bid them a lot, because they will take you a lot longer than you think, and it will suck doing them. It definitely is one of those things that as you're doing them, you're like, why did I not charge more? Why did I not charge double what I did this for? Because it will take the double amount of time that what you think it would take. That's what I've learned. It takes twice as long as what you think it should take you, and that's why they suck. So that's just what it is. How's Mr. Kentucky Wash Pros? What's up, fellas? Just looking at mini lights, and I'm understanding correctly, they are $269 for one 24 strand. That is not how much they are. That should be for a case of 12 probably, because they're usually about $11 or $13 a piece. For one strand, yeah, so that should be a case of them is what that is, not one strand for that. Make sure you go to christmaslights.io to get me hooked up, help me out. I have a 952 feet of retaining wall, 5 feet tall high. I need to bid for a repeat customer. Should I be charging the same as flat work, or is it special pricing since it's more tedious? I would do a lot of that with a soft wash. I would put about a 4% mix on that bad boy, and that will make it a lot easier to do that, is what I would do. There's a putty cat in the window. My wife's putting it there. And a big orange one. I gotta maybe not say it that way, but it's a kitty cat. So I would see how long it's going to take you, and then I would probably go that route. I would kind of figure out how long do you think it'll take you. I would obviously nuke it pretty hot, and then that way it'll make it easier to clean and faster. I did a fence like that and stained it a while back. It was fun. I bet it was. When you do gutters and window jobs, don't leave until you get them on the schedule for the next visit, even if it's 6 months out. Reoccurring revenue, customer life cycle. This is very important, especially when it's starting to get harder times a little bit like this. And that's another thing. People are still paying for window cleaning because people are clean freaks and they will make sure that their windows are clean. So if something happened that dries up with the pressure washing, you might become a window cleaner. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but I'm just saying that you may have to do it just to keep stuff on the schedule and keep things moving. When you do those gutters and windows, don't leave until you get them on there next year. Never mind, I misread that. What's up, Kentucky? Mr. George Yost, Big Time Wash Pros. Has got him a big old logo now on there. How are you doing, sir? Got a metal building, big metal 2-story roof tomorrow, picking up a pair of Cougar Paul steel walkers in the morning, and finally invested in some roof safety equipment. Here's the thing I will say about that, though. Be careful on them metal roofs. One time I did a cupola on this big horse barn up in Indian Hill, Ohio. Up in Indian Hill, it's one of the richest neighborhoods in Cincinnati. And it was a big boy. This barn was huge. And I'm up there cleaning the cupola, and I didn't realize it. Climbing up was no problem. But the problem is when you spray water on it, it was like a big water slide at that point. And so I had to use a 40-foot ladder to even get onto this barn. And so as I was sliding down, I had one of my employees, I was like, go stand on that ladder and hang on to anything you can, because I'm sliding into this ladder. I actually had to call him because I couldn't yell. It was so far up. So I had to slide down with my feet going down, sliding down, and then to catch myself right as I got on the ladder. So just be careful on those metal roofs. Don't fall off. That is a number one rule. I feel about decks like you do with fences. Oh yeah, decks and fences are like, they're right up there with both of them. I don't like either one of them. I hate doing both of them. I'm just across the mountain from you. I went low on a commercial concrete cleanup day job, but it worked out, and I learned it may also become a referral or 6-month thing. I charge $16 to $22 a linear foot for wash and stain decks. Fences suck. Yes, they do. Can you please get everything on one website? I can. Yes. For pressure washing, or are you talking about the Christmas light ones? If you're talking about the Christmas light and permanent lighting, it's going to be kind of tough, but it could probably happen. It's going to be the problem with when you're trying to do permanent lighting and Christmas lights. That's the issue of making it harder, because it's really two different things. Better add a line of 24 cents for the 2 Advil on the invoice. I'm getting a website up for gutter cleaning. What do you think? Well, that works. I'm over in Somerset. I'll be down that way at Cumberland in October, I believe it is. Rough August for me. Broke both my machines and destroyed aluminum King's 18-inch hose reel. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all, Mr. George. That stinks. But I get it. After 10 days, no leads on my LSA facing purple crime. Yeah, here's the deal. A lot of people, you're not the only one, George, that is struggling to get leads right now. A lot of people are having issues. And I know people that are spending lots of money on different things, and they're having issues. There's some big time people that I know that I'm getting texts from of, hey, it's slowing down. I actually talked to Jeremy today too, And he's like, man, we've been flipping rocks. We just flipping rocks every which way we can. We make our rocks flip, whatever we got to do. So it's definitely something that it isn't just you, it is across the board. Like I say, if you're going after low end, it's definitely going to be harder on you. So that's why I preach going after the higher end. And I know you're doing LSA ads, which is good, but it is definitely gotten a little bit tougher. I don't mind decks. Hardy board is my limit. I have to run away of a job when I see big, large fish tank in front of the house. Did you get my message yesterday about my website for lights? I did. I haven't. It's still unread because I knew I wasn't going to get to it. So I had a guy I know. I look at it and everything is, yeah. I will tomorrow when I talk to my admin. I will get her working on it for you, Sean. Set your Google guarantee up. If you haven't already, it helps. Yeah, that's what that LSA is. I know you said a while back you'd be down this way at some point, still wanting to take your light class. Yep. Yep. Go to KPW Train and you can see when I'm having the light class. And if you take this weekend class, you have a chance of winning $100 million leads. It's a good book, and might even give a hat away. I don't know, I might keep the hat. I'm not a big hat guy, and it's kind of a goofy looking hat because he wears it all goofy too, so I might wear it goofy too. I'm not a hat person. Let's see. My favorite thing about washing a fence is when you get to the bottom and the blood splatters all over your face. Just shoot me and put me out of my misery. And it does it every time you go down to the bottom and all 8,000 feet of it, or how many ever feet you have of it. And I know the feeling. So, yeah, I get it. I get it. I know what you mean. I feel like these times it's smart to lower prices slightly to get your close rate higher. We can try to sell higher jobs, but sometimes you simply can't afford it. And actually, this is not the time to slightly lower your prices because you're not going to get as many jobs in the first place, and lowering your prices is not going after the right customers. Lowering your and I'm just telling you how it is. You can try to lower your prices. You're still not going to close jobs, even if you lower your prices. Because when we lower prices, we're going after the wrong person, right? At this point, the $300-$400 house washes are not our customers, and we don't even want them right at this point because they don't have the extra income. Most people that I know, the $300-$400 house washes, they ain't getting any of them. They're not closing none of them, because the reason why they're not closing any of them is because they ain't got the money to be able to afford the extra $300 or $400. So that's why the $300 or $400 is not there. What's an LSA ad? Local service ad or Google guarantee, either one of those. I have spent too much trying to get approved on Google My Business. Yeah, it can be a pain. I was able to get my business on Bing, but the GMB kept getting denied, and since I'm putting so much time in at work, I haven't had a chance to dig into it yet. Wish I could attend this weekend, but my kids are getting baptized Sunday. Well, that's awesome. That is awesome right there. That's more important. That's way more important than coming to class. I got an 80-inch lance. It helps with the mud in your face on fences. Yeah. And you don't have to bend over as much. Can you add an update price sheet for pressure washing and Christmas lights? As inflation goes up, it would be nice to have a quick reference. Yeah. Congrats, my kids were baptized 2 weeks ago. I have a lot of things on my resume. I'm not always doing what I'd rather be doing, but I'm always busy. In Donald Miller's book, How to Grow Your Small Business, he color codes the sales process along the lines of love language, emotion, etc. It's gold. Imagine that they do love languages, emotions, right? Because it's not selling pressure washing. It's not selling Christmas lights. If you're selling pressure washing, you're definitely not selling anything at this point, right? You're going to struggle really hard. So that's why we do these other things. The reason why in my in-person classes I go over love languages, and I know some people are like, why are we going over love languages? Because this is how we sell high ticket prices. This is how we sell to different people. This is how we're able to do that. The reason why I talk about people's personalities and learning what other people's personalities look like so you can identify them, so that way you can get higher prices. The reason why I teach this personality and I teach love languages at my in-person classes is because that is what can set you apart and help you grow your business. And that's how you can get your $2,000-$3,000 average ticket. That's how you're able to do this, is by doing the love languages and that. We're getting 300 to 400 jobs all the time. It's just what those jobs in 2 hours were done by 11. I very much appreciate your insight. So here's the question. If you're getting those $300-$400 jobs all the times, I can get one $1,000 job. You got to get 3 jobs to do the same amount of money that I'm doing. And that means you got to drive just as much, if not more, to do those same jobs. Are you in the top 5 companies in Cincinnati for gutter cleaning and pressure washing? I was the top one for pressure washing. I was not in gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning was not one that I focused on. Christmas lights, I was the top Christmas light one, and I was the top pressure washing business when I had my company. And I did all the SEO on it. I did all of the ads. I did all of that stuff. And I had my, for the longest time, Pressure Wash Cincinnati, if you type that in, I was number 1. Power Wash Cincinnati, I was number 1. So that's what I had done to get there. It was definitely something that it was definitely not easy to get myself there, but I was there. And that's how we were able to do $1 million a year in 2017 and 2019. So it was definitely something that until last year, my Google My Business was still doing very well for both, until they went and started jacking around with the website and stuff, which messed it up. So, but that's what it was. But that was 4 years after the fact, and it was still ranking number 1. So, when people think that you're going to outrank people, a lot of times it's going to be tough especially if that company put some money into SEO a long time ago, and it was good, clean SEO, not some black hat crap going on. It can definitely help you out a lot. So, times are hard. Can be, for sure. It's definitely, things are changing. And as election year comes around and all of that good stuff, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, I know that, gas prices are going up. We're knocking on $4 a gallon again, which that'll drive everything else back up. So, it'll be interesting to see what all happens from that. What is your URL for the Christmas light site again? Christmaslights.io. Christmaslights.io. I don't think I have it on here. Yeah, Christmaslights.io. I probably ought to put it on there, but I don't have it on there. I've got everything else on there. Christmaslights.io. I'm trying to get a website going. I got the framework done. Now we are just doing all the content. SEO is not my friend at all. But, well, we're at an hour, and I just wanted to If you got any questions after this, don't hesitate to ask. Again, you can go to KPW Train, King of Pressure Wash. Is my If you want to know when I go live, you can text King KING 859-696-1101. But that's all I have for this week. I hope you all have a great night. Again, if you're in Houston, Texas, and you want to come eat some dinner or whatever we might do there, you can. I will be at the Texas Pressure Washing Store. There's like going to be 4 or 5 of us speaking that day. I'll be there I'll be there late Sunday night. I'll be there all day Monday and Tuesday. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want to come hang out, I'd definitely hang out with y'all, because I don't know who all's going to be there. I know Ron Roby's going to be there. He's a pretty cool dude, and a bunch of other people. But if you're in that area, definitely come check it out, and I will be there. Best low cost to generate leads, probably the low cost way is Facebook. Facebook groups and Facebook is probably the best way to generate them low cost. Yard signs is another way to do them that's pretty low cost also. But other than that, hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you all later.